Hey everybody, this is Jake with Myers Flies, and we're here to do a quick video on a very simple leader system that you can use for what is called Euro nymphing or tight line nymphing. We do have another video where you can take the different tippet materials, cut them down, use blood knots, put them together, make your own. We actually do sell a leader like that here in the shop, already tied up for you. But this is something that's very simple, that if you're just beginning fly fishing, or maybe you've been in fly fishing for a very long time, but you're just going to go into this tight line nymphing and try it, it is a very simple way that you can get acclimated to that. You only need 3 materials, so it's real simple. The first thing is the Maxima tapered leader, and so we sell them here at the shop. This tapered leader is 9 foot long, and it is a 1X, so that means at the very end of the tippet it is 12 pounds. So you typically wouldn't use this to just go fishing with because it's very heavy, but in building this leader system you want something just like this. So it goes to 12 pounds, so you got 9 foot, it goes to 12 pounds. Then you're going to take the Rio two-tone indicator. You could also use the Sunset Amnesia that we have here in the shop. We have fluorescent red, fluorescent green. You can tie your own sections of that. Or I've been using this and I really like it because it is an opaque color. When it's sunny out, I think it just pops a little bit better. Sometimes the translucent indicator lines, if it's sunny or different colors, your eye doesn't pick it up. So really that's going to be a personal preference. So you're going to take about 2 foot of this and you're going to tie it to the end of that leader, and then at the end of your indicator you're just going to use a tippet ring, and there at that tippet ring you're going to then attach whatever other material you want. So for example, if you're fishing a very small stream, the water's only 2 foot deep at the max, I would probably use like a 4 foot piece of 5X tippet, and so that was going to go right onto the end of that tippet ring. So everything that we're going to build here today, from the Maxima leader down to the indicator and then your tippet ring, that's always going to stay the same for you. The only thing that's going to change is your tippet that goes from the tippet ring down to the terminal end of your tackle. That is where your fly is going to be, and that would depend on what you're fishing for and the depth of water, etc. So let's get into tying this leader today. Alright, for the sake of time, I already got some of this stuff ready here, but all you're going to do is take the Maxima tapered leader. This is the 1X, so that's 12 pounds at 9 foot long. When you take that out of the package, what I like to do is just kind of run your hands over that and just kind of get it to lay flat. That heat of your hand will kind of just pull that out. It's been kinked up in there, but one of the great things about Maxima tippet is a very low memory, so as soon as you pull it out, it's ready to go. So you'll see that tippet section, and then I just took a piece of this Rio two-tone indicator. This is the 1X, which is 11 pounds. I just pull about 2 foot, I like mine about 2 foot off of there, snip that, and then what I'm going to do is come to the end of my tapered leader. You'll see this is like the ultra green section here. So this is 12 pounds on that tapered leader, and then I just use a blood knot right here to attach my indicator. Now I left the tags on there just so you can see that transition, but that goes 2 foot down to the end of that indicator, and at the end of that indicator I just took one of those angler's image tippet rings. These are the 3mm. We have 2.5 and 2.0, but the older my eyes get, I kind of like those 3mm. They are not that big. So anyhow, I like to use those. But then I just use a clinch knot and just tie that tippet ring right to the end. And again, I just left the tag there. You can clean that up if you choose to. Just kind of snip that off right there. But that's it, guys. That is the tight line leader that I use most of the time. Now I do build this section in a lot of them, but I've been going on to this kind of a a system for a while where I just use the tapered leader. It's really easy. If I'm out in the field, I keep probably 2 or 3 of these in my vest at all times. You should not have to use many of those. In fact, this leader right here, this kind of system, I've been fishing, I don't know, probably 6 months now, same section. So again, this is 12 pounds, this is 11 pounds. So unless you get this, knotted up in a tree somewhere and have to break it, you're gonna be okay. So you're gonna be fishing this a long time. Then what you can do at the end of this, this tippet, this indicator line here, this is where you're gonna tie on your terminal end. So this is where your flies are going to go. So you're going to take 4X or 5X tippet. For example, I was just up in north central Pennsylvania fishing for big brown trout in like Pine Creek. So there I'm going to use, in faster water, stronger current, I'm going to use a 4X tippet. So what I did is I took about a 6-foot piece of 4X tippet and just tied that directly to this tippet ring right down to my flies. And then of course there I'm going to use, in Pennsylvania we can use 3 flies. So most of the time I did use 3 flies or 2 flies if you just want to use that, whatever you choose. But because it was some deeper water, deeper pockets, I had 6 foot of that tippet on, and tight lining, keeping the line almost directly underneath of my rod as I'm nymphing down through there. But then when you go up into the mountains and you want to hit some of those tributary sections, I would just back it down a little bit into maybe 3 or 4 foot, where the stream is very, very small. And so I'm going to back into like a 5 or 6X tippet down from that. So you can always just change that end after your tippet ring on this. So again, those products are available right here at myersflies.com. You can stop by the shop here at 525 Liners Creek Road here in Dallastown, Pennsylvania. If you have any comments, just email us at myersflies@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to help answer any questions you have. Hope you have a great time fishing in God's beautiful creation. Make sure you keep it clean and pass it on to the next generation. God bless. Tight lines.